Don't Move follows a grieving woman in a secluded forest who encounters a serial killer who injects her with a paralytic drug that will shut down her bodily functions in 20 minutes. This film was directed by Brian Netto and Adam Schindler, and it stars Kelsey Asbiel and Finn Wittrock. So this is a film that was just very quietly dropped onto Netflix in October, and I was keen to check it out just because I was curious. How are they going to make a compelling 90-minute feature-length film about someone given 20 minutes left to live, effectively? And the answer is that they just don't. I'm not going to stand here and act like this film is a complete dumpster fire. It's not horrible by any means. It's just that the concept does not have the legs to sustain interest for a full feature-length film. But what I did like about it, I really do think that that is an interesting concept for a short film. I would kind of compare this film to Night Swim from earlier this year, where it's like you watch the opening bit of the film and it's like, you're like, yeah, this is good for a short film. This is interesting. How are they going to make it into a 90-minute length film? And the answer is that they just bloat it out with a bunch of bullshit. And that's the thing. The first 20 minutes or so of this film, as her body starts to slowly just switch off, is really quite good. It's tense. It's a scary situation to think about. There's this Stephen King short story called Autopsy Room 1, I believe is what it's called. And it very much gave me that kind of a same flavor. Like, what would you do if you are paralyzed? Like, that story is about a man who wakes up on an autopsy table as the doctors are about to start making incisions and stuff. And it gave me that kind of flavor where it's like, it is really quite tense and nasty. You're like, oh my God, I'd hate to be in this situation. Going along with that, Kelsey Asbiel gives a good performance for the entirety of the runtime. She does really good with what she's given. And again, especially in that opening act when she's forced to slowly just slow down, like some things stop working, like her fingers will stop working and then eventually her legs start to drag. She does really good with the physical performance. And finally, this feels like a movie made by people who know what they're doing. I'm not familiar with any of the director's other work, but you watch this and it's shot well, it's edited well. The locations and landscapes are really nice to look at. There are some really tense sequences, as I said, especially in the opening third of the film. It's a perfectly watchable Netflix experience. With that being said, whoever decided that a movie about someone with 20 minutes left until her body is completely paralyzed should be made into a 90-minute feature, I don't know what you were thinking, because this concept, while it is cool and it is effective for the opening act, once you get into acts 2 and 3, this feels like it is running on the most minuscule of fumes. Like I said, comparing it to Night Swim from earlier this year, this concept does not have the juice to be a feature-length film. It just doesn't. It would work really well as a, get this, 20-minute short film. As a 90-minute film, the rest of the 70 minutes are filled in with just stuff. Now, I've never seen Finn Wittrock in any other role before, but he really did not do it for me here. He seemed like a try-hard high school theatre group actor that was trying to do a really weird impersonation of Patrick Bateman. He just did not sell it for me whatsoever. There are parts when he kind of has to pretend that he's innocent, and it's just something is so off about it. I don't know what he thought he was doing, what kind of movie he thought he was in. He was, as I said, like a theatre group actor. And the way this movie continues on, it just kind of gets into a bit of a repetitive wash, rinse, repeat cycle. It's like he's driving around with her paralyzed body in the car. She's still alive. They have a couple of close calls here and there. Eventually they get out, maybe some bloodshed along the way. And it's just like, so the whole kind of story is flipped. It goes from being about the opening act, about this woman who is trying to either kill her assailant or escape him in the opening 20 minutes, to this guy trying to carry around this paralyzed woman with no one realizing that he drugged her. It's just a really weird narrative flip. It just doesn't make sense to me. Again, why is this a feature-length film? It doesn't work for that. And this might be considered spoilerific, but I mean, you can check this film out if you want to, but click off now if you don't want to be spoiled whatsoever, I guess. But they kind of abandon the initial concept because they literally can't stretch it out anymore. They've wrung the rag out as dry as they possibly can. And eventually they kind of just turn on that this drug that was injected into this woman is only temporary. So eventually she does get her movement back and stuff like that in the final act. And it's just like, well, wasn't the whole premise that she had to escape before she was paralyzed for good? I thought that was where the tension was wrung from, and it just felt like a cheap way out. So overall, this movie's okay. It's not a train wreck. It's not terrible. It's perfectly watchable Netflix stuff. It's fine. The opening act is worth a look, I guess. I mean, I guess you could watch this for the first 20 minutes and then just click off, but after that, it just becomes so boring because they literally have no story to tell. And when it tries to wrap itself around kind of thematically, it just feels forced and like they just took the easy way out. And again, the villainous performance really didn't work for me here. So don't move. It's not going to end up in my bottom 10 of the year, but it is still just a snooze fest. Thank you for watching my review of Don't Move. Let me know what you thought of this film in the comments. If you have seen it, I'm going to be doing a review on Gladiator 2, Ralph Cifaretto's favourite. Oh god, he would love this. I can't wait to see it because I really loved the first Gladiator, so I'll have that review out, I don't know, sometime soon. It'll be late. I haven't had a chance to go and see it, but I'll see you all later. Bye.